How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to Wicked Quill and Pork Homestead. Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's windy out today. We are still getting a ton of rain. And we're getting more this weekend. It's just not letting up. But the garden is a disaster, and I wanted to share that with you guys because maybe it'll make some of you feel better. This is our first year on this property. We've only been here for about 3 months. May, June, July, August, almost 4 months. So, which means we moved here right in the middle of like garden planting season. We didn't stay on top of the garden like we should have. This whole area was supposed to be garden, and I just never got it planted, so now it's just like a forest. It's atrocious. So we're gonna have to go over it probably with the brush hog, and then we'll till it under, and then we'll mulch it, and we'll let the soil rest until next spring, for next spring's garden. So these are the tomatoes. I actually just cleaned up the tomatoes this morning, so they're actually cleaned up, and we'll talk more about this trellis system and why I don't like it during the tour. But this is the disaster. These are the pepper plants. As you can see, there's a lot of weeds, grass. When you're getting rain 4 times a week, the weeds, the grass, they're thriving. They're growing a lot. So this was all supposed to be garden. Somewhere out there are potatoes. So as you can see, we definitely let it get away from us. I was going to weed whack this side, but my weed whacker battery died, and I think Paul has the rest of them with him. So we'll have to wait till he gets home. But this is what the garden looks like right now. Guys, it's a few mornings later, like first thing in the morning. Like, I just got up, had my coffee. Hair is very much unbrushed, not very put together, but I figured I'd come down here and end this video with the garden tour like I told you guys, so you guys can see how much of a mess my garden is. Paul did brush hog part of the big area that got overgrown with all of the crazy weeds. He's going to do the rest of it, hopefully this weekend. We're going to have to dig up our potatoes because the weeds killed the plants died off, and once the plants die off, they're not going to grow anymore. So they'll probably be small, but they'll be tasty, so we'll grab those. And I mean, we live in Maine, we can get potatoes fairly cheap here during potato season. So I'll show you guys the garden this morning, and that's how we'll end this video. Little garden tour. Now, what you guys won't see down here is we have 3 apple trees across the road that we're working on rehabbing. One of them gave us semi-decent apples this year, but the rest of them are still looking pretty diseased. They need one more really good pruning, I think. So let's take a look at the garden. Also up by the house is my herb bed, and I'll show you guys that sometime. Okay, so this is the tomato row. We have tons of beautiful tomatoes, and I wish I could tell you guys what's in here. But all of my tags, I did actually tag my tomatoes this year and mark them, but then my tags all got brittle and broke, and the rain washed them away, so it's just still didn't go very well for me. As you can see, there are tons of tomatoes in here on these plants. The problem we're running into, which I'm going to try to fix this morning, is this is sagging. We have cattle panels and hog panels that we usually use to trellis our tomatoes, but we didn't bring them over from the old house yet. So we were trying this stuff that we got for the pole beans and cucumbers, and it's just not working. So I'm going to try to support that up higher, because these tomatoes are kind of sitting on the ground and not growing to their full potential. So, tons of beautiful tomatoes. Some of them are starting to blush. That one has blossom end rot that needs to come off. It's probably from the rain.
What are these made of? Mama? What are these made of?
Look at those ones. Ooh, that one's huge. So this is the pepper row, and it still really needs to be weeded. I didn't get a chance to weed the pepper row. I just weeded this big row that had all of the giant weeds in it, because I need to use this for fall crops. So the peppers still need to be weeded, but they are doing fantastic. You can see the plants are huge, and there are tons of peppers on them. Now again, oh, this one's marked. No way. No way, Jose. That says Carmen pepper, but those look, yeah, okay, I guess they're just in the beginning stages, because here's a big one over here. So like basically this whole row is Carmen peppers, because that's our favorite. And we have so many of them. We have so many of them. The issue with the peppers is going to be them turning red because of the lack of heat and the rain. See all those beautiful big peppers in there. Over here we have some shishito plants that are doing really well, taking right off. That's good. For a while these pepper plants looked horrific because of all the rain we were getting. So our eggplants took a hit. They've got these potato bugs all over them. Killed these two pretty well. So that's a bummer. I'm the only one that eats it, so it is what it is. But it's still kind of a bummer. Oh man, the next garden tour you guys see, this will all be weeded, I promise. But right now we are normalizing, this must be more bell peppers. We are normalizing having a season where you are overwhelmed and things are changing in your life. So maybe your garden takes a back burner and produces minimally. So this plant got me the other day. I took a bite of one of these thinking it was a jalapeno, and it most definitely is not. And if it is a very outrageously spicy jalapeno, but I think that I accidentally got serranos when I ordered jalapenos, because I bought these as plants. Very spicy, unpleasantly spicy. And the thing about the serranos is they don't even really have a fruity undertone like habaneros. They're just gross spice. So that was unpleasant. The other day, I believe these are, I'm so excited about these. Look at that. These are the non-spicy habaneros, hopefully. They are the habanadas, I believe. Look at that. I'm so excited to have the taste of the habaneros without the spice. Oh, that's going to be lovely. I don't think there's any on this little guy yet. This is another bell pepper plant. I can probably take this guy off of here. Yeah. I've gotten almost 10 of these in the last week, so the bell pepper plants are doing pretty decent for all the rain we're getting. So this section is all open, and I'm going to put, I have cabbage and broccoli plants growing up on the lawn right now that will be transplanted into here once they're big enough. Hopefully we don't have like a super early frost, but those will go down in here. I'm also going to come through and make more holes and do root crops. I got to get some of those in. We need to pick these yellow beans. These are the survivors of the yellow beans. They're kind of spotty. This was a whole row. I had like 50 yellow bean plants in here, and the piglets kept getting out before we ran the electric wire. So these are the survivors, but they are still giving us quite a bit, and we really need to pick them. So this trellis is what I was talking to you guys about that I wanted to get done. And as you can see, I got it up, I got it done. It looks good. This is for the pole beans. You can see those are taken right off. I love picking fall pole beans. It's so nice to pick beans in the fall because it's nice and cool out. You got some beans. Very nice.
Let's bring them in the house.
Okay, we'll bring them in the house. Down here though, I have a cucumber plant that is doing absolutely phenomenal. I think this is the Ashley cucumber, maybe? I don't know. Got some baby cukes on it. That's the other reason I needed this up, was for my cucumber plants, because there's plenty of spots in here left where there's not pole beans, and I have some started cucumber plants up there as well that are coming down here and being transplanted in for fall cukes. So these are my pole beans, and I believe I planted the purple ones. I have yellow pole beans and purple pole beans. I'm not sure which ones I planted, probably the purple. This guy, get right up there, buddy. See all these weeds right here that are huge? Terrifyingly huge? Yeah, that's supposed to be garden area that we just never planted, so we also never weeded. So we'll have to brush hog it. There you go, buddy. Pole beans take a minute to take off, but with this amount of pole beans, we'll get a huge harvest, a couple huge harvests this fall. This is a pile of weeds that really needs to get out of the garden. I'm going to do that as well when I weed all the small things in here. This is my zucchini patch, so I went in and I just pulled up like a small square of the weeds, and we have some really old round bales that are working excellently as mulch because they're not reseeding the grass. So you see all the zucchini plants. There are some weeds in there, but I have a really good amount of zucchini plants all through there, so that's our fall zucchini patch, and I'm really excited about that. So this area was melons. I had a whole bunch of onions planted here, like 50 of them, and we had a groundhog issue that took a whole bunch of them. He chopped them all down, pulled them out, so we only have a few left in here. So I'll weed those out, and maybe we'll get a handful of onions. I do know a person that sells them reasonably, so we'll probably just end up buying a big bag of onions from them. This was supposed to be the melon patch. Yes, baby, I'm coming. So this was supposed to be, I think, midget melons, or maybe just the table melons, but our melon patch did not do well. All of the rain that we got after I transplanted all of them took basically all of them out. We do have a few, so this plant's still kind of thriving. I don't know if it'll do much. It really probably should be trellised up, but I'm just going to weed in here so that it has clean fabric to grow on. And we have one successful watermelon plant that's going into the zucchinis, and it does have watermelons on it. I can see some in there. So that's pretty exciting. A whole bunch of zucchini plants. The zucchini plants are doing really good. Alright, so I'm going to walk you guys down and around to check on the pumpkins. When we get over there, it'll probably be voiceover because Paul's cutting firewood over there right now, so it's kind of loud. But before we go over there, I want to touch base on the things that you can and should be doing if you like to have food security and preserve your own food, but your garden is looking like mine, or maybe your garden doesn't exist. And that is keeping an eye locally for in-season bulk sales. So right now everybody's selling produce, you know, everybody has vegetables going, and you can often, even on like Facebook Marketplace, you can often find bulk deals on seasonal fruits and vegetables, and those are the things that you would want to buy and preserve in your home. A pumpkin patch is down around here, and I did recently weed the pumpkin patch and kind of like bring all of them this way. So these are all pumpkins and some winter squashes, and they're all coming out onto the grass where we can kind of see them and protect them from disease and bugs. And we do have pumpkins and squashes growing. That's so exciting. Grass is getting a little tall out here. There we go. Look at that. That's exciting. Now, of course, I have no idea what any of these are. So that will be the fun part. We'll have to wait until they're bigger to find out what they are. Like this guy's coming and leaving. These pumpkins will probably be way out here by this fall and thriving, which is fine. We only plant, well, we might have a few jack-o'-lantern plants out here, but for the most part we only plant edible pumpkins and squashes. There's a little baby right there. So that's my extremely messy 2023 garden. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by, subscribing, sharing, and we will talk soon. Happy homesteading.